always knew it was going to be a battle to make a film.
I genuinely feel age is just a number.
Tell that
I
to
think appeal
casting
factor.
directors. I do think it's just a number.
People are excited also to look forward to Kota Factory because you are there.
I'm very grateful that you even think this way.
The importance of personality development for an actor like you. And I'll give you an example of Om Puri Saab, for example. When Om Puri Saab started, he looked in a certain manner.
That's a beautiful question. Thank you for asking. Many, many years of waiting, one did begin to question whether it's because of one's look.
Payal, Kapadia, Anusuya, Sengupta. What do these names mean to you?
They got there because of themselves.
Payal had a tough time at FIA.
It's always going to be tough to tell a story that goes against the grain, that goes against the tide. Hi, this is Tilottama. You're watching Connect Cine with Faridoon. Stay connected.
Tilottama, welcome on Connect Cine. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm excellent. First question will be, I think that you have a unique knack for hogging all the limelight in whichever project you tend to be. How do you manage to do this?
Sounds like a terrible person. I sound like a terrible person.
You know, I'll just give one example. There are many. The Night Manager, for example, I thought you were absolutely stunning. In terms of whenever you appeared, I think there was something really unique, and there are many such projects whatsoever. So how do you manage to do this?
Keep someone hungry for 20 years. They'll lap up whatever you put in front of them and enjoy every morsel, every grain that comes on their plate.
No, absolutely. All right. So now we talk about Kota Factory season 3. First of all, how do you look at this this amazing, I think moment as far as content in India is concerned, where the way OTT is playing a part in terms of disseminating content in an amazing manner. Like we've seen Hira Mandi in recent times, and Lapata Ladies, for example, has done phenomenally well on OTT. So how do you look at this wonderful moment in history as far as Indian content is concerned?
Because you mentioned Lapata Ladies, the success of that film is personally very heartening.
Right.
Not just because of the subject matter, but the way Kiran has told the tale, and its success almost feels. It was like a beacon of hope, and as far as OTT is concerned, like I have, as you know, done largely independent films, which were very difficult to make, and then the distribution of the film was even harder, and its only hope was it doing well in the top tier international film festivals, and if it did, then it got distribution internationally. But it was very rare for it to be distributed and in my own country, and it had no release in my own country or a very limited release. So that's the environment in which I grew up as an actor. I always knew it was going to be a battle to make a film. It's really hard, and so I feel quite lucky that in my lifetime, as someone who did her first film, which was shot on 35 mm, from film we went to digital, from digital, and we went to OTT, and that this independent film called Sir, that Rohena made, had a very limited theatrical release because she was really passionate about the film being released theatrically. But when it found a home on Netflix, is when the ceiling just blew up.
Right.
Us as actors, Vivek Gomba and I had only done independent films, and for us, our work to be to have access to our work by so many people in our own country, it's really unimaginable. It was not something we were prepared for, and so for me, I owe a huge debt to OTT platforms, and it all started for me with with Netflix, with Sir, and then I experienced the power of this medium. And like I've said, like in my 40s, all the work that I received was thanks to the OTT platform.
I genuinely feel age is just a number. I think it's not about the. It's. I think um, even in terms of
Tell that
I
to
think appeal
casting
factor.
directors. I do think it's just a number, but tell that to casting directors. You know.
I genuinely feel that these things are definitely changing,
Yeah.
and I think it's all look at Tabu, for example. I think what she's doing,
But
she's looking
they've always
better.
been those few sparks, right? And
Mm,
like Tabu is a
mm,
flame, an
mm,
eternal flame, if I may say so. That yeah, I mean, it's really the light within her that
mm.
has just refused to be extinguished by these narrow-minded, ageist concepts. But it's her incredible talent and it's her incredible um, soul that has allowed.
Right, and even Manisha Koirala, I think she's
Yes, it's so wonderful.
she's just
Yeah, yeah.
right now. Uh, do you also find it very very fascinating? For example, like when we see Kota Factory season 3 promo, and the way the moment you just appear on screen, and how that interest level develops as far as the project is concerned, because you have I think created that I think niche factor in terms of people who watch content, especially on OTT, because people who consume content on OTT, they don't judge it from a point of view of the entire star system that has been propagated by Bollywood. People look for good actors, and they celebrate good actors. And the moment you appear on as far as the promo is concerned, people are excited also to look forward to Kota Factory because you are there.
I think people are excited about Kota Factory, even if I was not there, and that's the
But you
love.
definitely add value. You definitely add value. The
We'll
fact
see.
that you are there.
We'll see now. Let watch the show, and I'm very grateful that you even think this way and that you feel this way. Um, uh, I'm just happy that the team of TBF trusted me with this, that the team of Kota Factory welcomed me, and made me feel so comfortable. And they could have been very territorial. It's our show. Who is this new person? But they really weren't. They were so warm and so welcoming, um,
Mm.
that I'm grateful. I'm really grateful for that.
What is the importance of internalization of any character for you?
I'll share something, but I'm not so sure whether this is the truth. It's just what I feel
Mm,
today, because I don't think it is possible for an actor to be doing what they do and then talk about the process.
mm,
If you're really in it, you really don't know sometimes what's happening. It's impossible to articulate this. I mean, we want to theorize, but you can't. It's like writing a thesis about swimming while you're swimming.
mm,
You know that your arms have to move in a certain way, you have to breathe in and breathe out, and your neck goes this way. There's certain mechanics that you know. So what are the mechanics for me as an actor? Learn my lines, feel
mm,
comfortable with the director, the team, the crew, um, and then find ways to humanize, so that I'm not just parroting the lines, uh, to make sense of the space that I'm in, to be aware of what's going on around me. Um, but the final thing that we actually watch, the audience watch, you also watch it with the audience for the first time, really. And then a lot of things that are said about the performance are actually created by the editor, and and the background score, the music, the way the camera focuses on something and not doesn't focus on something, uh, and this is when I was younger, I felt like, oh, it's I did well or I didn't do well, and it was all about watching yourself and thinking what you did, what you didn't do. But as one understands more and more about and is learning more and more by watching how films are made, there are things that you watch of yourself and you realize, but I never did that. That sense of vulnerability that's there in the scene, I never played it with that sense of vulnerability. So how did the director get this shot? Who is this actor? Who did that? I didn't do it. I know I didn't do it. And then you realize that it's the editor has cut it in such a way and then gone from my face to this face, which makes it look like I'm vulnerable. And that's when you realize how the film is getting made again on the edit table, and how our performances that are written about are in a way just one perspective, because actually there's so many layers that go into an audience feeling what they feel when they see a performance, that where the artist ends and the director and the editor and come on, it all gets very blurred. So I really find it very difficult to talk about the process beyond the fact that I know that when I say a line, did it get stuck, or after saying it do I feel very uneasy or like it didn't feel right? That sense is something that one does have with time, but in terms of process I really don't know how to articulate.
Okay, now many would say that you're also this cerebral actor in terms of thinking actor. I'd like to know more about in terms of the importance of personality development for an actor like you. And I'll give you an example of Om Puri Saab, for example. When Om Puri Saab started, he looked in a certain manner, but over the years, his relationships with people, with his friends, the actors that he was in touch with, like Nasir Saab, for example, and the sort of film that he did, the sort of filmmaker that he worked with, the sort of variety of roles that he did, both in commercial as well as art cinema, as well as international cinema. He came across as someone who feels himself to be beautiful. He looked extremely good on screen. How you as an actor, what is your process of in terms of evaluating yourself as a person, the way you are, the way you look, and the way you reflect from within?
So when you that's a beautiful question, thank you for asking. So when I was unemployed for those many years of waiting, one did begin to question whether it's because of one's look, the way one looks, that I don't fit into the conventional idea of what is beautiful, even though my parents brought me up to believe that I am beautiful. So,
you are.
Yes, we all are, aren't we? And
absolutely.
And it's how I was lucky to be raised but then you come into this industry and there's a certain kind of look that is appreciated and valued and paid more than others. There's also a class bias based on the color of your skin, whether that you can't play a character that is rich if you're dark skinned, that all fair people only can play rich, that women have to be thin, fair, beautiful to play a certain class. So these are challenges in every industry. These kind of biases are human, universal biases. They're not just in our industry. So then you start questioning that. You really start questioning the way you look, your own self-worth. That is it because I'm not a very I take time to make friends. I'm very warm and I have a lot of friends. But I find it very difficult to do social networking for the sake of work. And I would keep to myself. I would stay in my apartment. And I thought these are things that, because I didn't make any attempt to change the way I look. My teeth are crooked. And you start thinking that, oh, maybe it's because of these things that I'm not getting work, or maybe it's because of that thing that because I don't go out and party enough, I'm not getting work. But there's still a voice inside you that says, come on, it's got to be more than that. Come on, let's just wait another year. And then 20 years go by, and then when I started getting work, and I'm even older than when I came into the industry, 20 years pass by. I'm not the 20-year-old of Monsoon Wedding anymore, and then you start getting work. It's so reaffirming, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It just blows these kind of narrow-minded thinking.
Absolutely.
And it's not just for me. That this is a space where if you are excited, curious, and are able to empathize with a character and humanize a character, that people will relate to that complexity, that crisis, that negotiation. If it's honest, if it's true, if it's compelling, that people will relate to it, irrespective of how you look, or how short you are, or how tall you are, or how dark you are.
Absolutely.
And that felt really good. And also the directors I worked with were very comfortable with my awkwardness, my social awkwardness. And I found actually most of them, they themselves were so socially awkward, and then you realize that, you don't become an actor. You don't think that a necessary qualification for an actor is to be outgoing and extroverted.
Absolutely.
So then you start feeling that, okay, this is a world that invites people as they are. And what will give them the power to stay on is perhaps just the richness of their inner life, and their curiosity, and their ability to see things in a different way.
No, absolutely.
But it is hard. But the thing is that we all go by, if somebody plays a particular part and they play it well, okay, and people relate to it, then it becomes an unconscious bias that, oh, because that person played that character so well, so he or she would be able to play this because it's in the same zone. And it's safe. Let's cast this person because we've already seen them go there before. But to be able to take a leap of faith and jump without any harness, I think there are very few people who can do that. And the reason that it took so long for me to get work was because, those people who are happy to do that kind of leap of faith were far and few. And with the OTT platforms, with different kinds of writers and directors coming from different walks of life, and not just Bombay, and different parts of life, different parts of India, with stories that are so unique to their upbringing, to their likes and dislikes, and it becoming a far more a wider kind of storytelling. It made space for actors like us, who actually don't fit any bill. We are just like
no, I think times are changing for sure. Times are definitely changing for sure. Okay, now at a time when biggest of so-called stars, they are not finding audience. People like Jitendra Kumar, Jeetu, the way the sort of popularity that he's enjoying, courtesy OTT and YouTube, it's absolutely phenomenal. So how do you look at the fan following and the success of Jeetu?
It's very heartwarming. I wish him more and more success, and may many more Jeetus arrive. And I think it's hum sabki jeet hai ye, because if we can, I think the idea of an actor, the birth of an actor, the journey of an artist, is based on the choices they make, the stories they tell, and then the audience likes it or they don't like it, and it may take longer for somebody. It may, there are many factors, but when an ordinary, when an ordinary person does something extraordinary, it's a victory for all of us.
No, absolutely. Okay, and one last question, Tilottama. Payal, Kapadia, Anusuya, Sengupta. What do these names mean to you and to the industry?
It's a mixture of great pride and at the same time one cannot brush away the feeling of also anger, that they got there because of themselves. They got there with, it's tremendous. It's tremendous to make a film, an independent film, and then to take it to a festival like Cannes, to win such an incredible, like recognition. I mean, I couldn't stop. Like when they were nominated, at the nomination itself, I mean, the frenzy that broke out once they won, and historic, and India, and all that. But even when they were nominated, it felt like a personal win, because one just, and I don't know Payal, and but one brain started just wondering what all did she have to go through to make this film, and to get this film to Cannes, and how hard that journey is, and who enabled her, who was supporting her, her vision. How did she shoot this, how did she finish her shoot? How did she have the money to, the post-production, then to get, it's incredible. It's incredible. But it's also so affirming at the same time. And that she's opened opened the way, made it a little easier. But it is, the wild, wild west. It is like a thick, dense forest, and Payal and Anusuya and Kani and Divya and Chaya and all these amazing, amazing actors, directors who are part of this film, who did it despite how difficult it was to make those films. Their victory is opened like a clearing in the forest for others to walk on, and I hope we all can take that road further, and yeah.
Payal had a tough time at FIA. For how important is it for an artist to walk the talk and to display courage?
I think it's deeply personal. I don't think we can dictate what is courage for somebody else. And I think we have to all find our own brand of activism through our work. And I think each person's activism will find its own sur, and it's always going to be tough. It's always going to be tough to tell a story that goes against the grain, that goes against the tide. But I mean, I heard that it's going to be tough. It's so hard. Cinema is dead. When I started my career as an actor, and it still is, because to tell the story that you want to tell in the way that you want to tell, with the people that you want to tell, and then to bring it to the audience, has always been tough for independent cinema.
Absolutely.
And yet they have continued to exist. It's like wildflowers, they grow through cracks in a building. They grow through, they cut through the cement. I don't know the power of those roots that can crack through an entire massive concrete building. And you see them, no? You see these plants that grow out of these huge structures. And and I feel like Payal is one of those beautiful wildflowers that has grown out of, and yeah.
Do you write poetry?
And no, I don't write poetry.
All right. Okay, Tilottama, thank you very much. Privileged to talk to you, and congratulations for the wonderful work that you've done so far.
Thank
and I'm
you.
sure that the journey has just started. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Yes, the journey has just started.